Hi, my name is Noah Reno and I am representing RF Films, and today I'm going to be teaching you lovely viewers at home how to properly sit in one of life's great mysteries. So today we have a few chairs here and I'm going to be showing you how to sit in them. I'm not going to be using what I'm sitting in now because this is a stool. We're specializing in chairs today. So to start, we have this chair here, which is also a form of stool chair hybrid. Got a wood seat and a metal back plate. And it's not the most comfortable, but it gets the job done. Similar story here, we have the basic school chair. Very similar concept. It's not super comfortable, but it does its intended purpose. And coming over here, we have a little more comfier chairs. We have the armrest, stationary, cushy, kind of, just leisure chair, I would call it. Then we have your standard office chair here. Got a swivel. It's very padded. It's very cushy, and it's on around. It's fun for the kids. Everyone really likes this kind of chair. So we're gonna start our chairscapade, as I like to call it, with the regular school chair. Now, these chairs, they don't provide a lot of comfort. There's a lot of back support, but we're gonna show you how to properly sit in one of these chairs to get maximum comfort, as well as not damage your back. So, you're gonna want to sit down with a very slow and very straight posture. So you're going to want to maybe kind of do a squat. So like, there you go. Now you're sitting in it, but what do you do once you're seated? Well, you want to definitely get all the way back in the chair so that you are straight, and you can either put hands on the lap with a little bit of a bend forward, or always cross the leg, because that provides more support and less pressure on the rest of your body. Now, moving on to the next chair, we have the stool chair hybrid, as I like to call it, and this one is a bit of a trick because it's very unsafe to sit in. I'd say this is probably the worst for your health and the least comfortable. So you're going to take a seat here in the most cautious of ways. So as you sit, you're going to want to look at your surroundings, make sure no one's behind you trying to pull an old 1-2, pull the chair out before you sit down trick, because that's very dangerous. You might hurt your head on the chair, and grounds are never good places to sit. So we're going to sit in this chair like so. Look around, feel, make sure the chair is still there. Use your hand to guide your sitting mechanism. Now again, just like the school chair, we're going to put our back all the way to the back. And this chair, I would not suggest crossing the leg, because you are having to keep your legs so high up off the ground that if something were to happen, danger, fire, some sort of disaster, you would have to put your leg down, and that's at least 2 seconds of time that you're wasting when you should be out of the room. A good way to sit in this chair is with the hands on the back, so that you are not falling, so that you have all sorts of support. This is not the healthiest way to sit, but it is definitely a way to sit. Moving on to the next chair, I would say this is my personal favorite of these 4 chairs that we have here. This chair here is the cushy armrest chair, and this is probably the easiest chair to sit in. There's no precautions, there's no danger to sitting in this chair. It's so padded that there's no danger. You don't need to be careful when you're sitting in this chair. You just, oh, look, a chair, and then you sit down. It's comfortable, it's cushy. You got the armrests. Crossed leg is definitely the best way to sit in this chair. It's my automatic reaction. I just went right to it. And you got the armrests, so you have no worries about your hands. You can just quick get up. You can use them to get out of the chair. It's really a spectacle chair, and I recommend this very exact same chair to anyone who wishes to be a chair enthusiast such as I. And moving on to our last chair, we have the swivel office chair. Now, the swivel office chair is probably the most dangerous of these chairs besides the stool chair hybrid, because this chair here rolls as well, does not have a very sturdy back support. It's very cushy, yes, and there's all the pleasures of spinning around in a chair. But you have to be very careful when you're sitting in this chair, because there's always the possibility that you're gonna roll out of it. And no one wants to roll out of their chair. So what you gotta do, just like this chair stool hybrid, is sit down, hands on the chair, make sure that you don't slip around, and then get all the way back, safety first, and then probably want to keep both feet on the ground so you have stabilization and support. And then once you're seated, you can adjust your height. Now, this chair doesn't have a very good height support system, but you can go lower by the click of a button, or by sitting, I'm sorry, not sitting, standing. You can click the button again and the chair will rise for those tall or short people, or if you have a desk that's high or low. And other people prefer to stand, but those people don't belong here. So that's all the chairs, and that's how to properly sit in each chair. But why do we sit in chairs? Now, the reason why we have chairs is to provide comfort in a casual situation. Now, if you were in a casual situation that didn't have chairs, if you were talking to a coworker or if you were at a party, you would be tired and you would be fatigued, and tiredness and fatigue always lead to violence and dismay, and no one wants that. So what we're trying to do by providing chairs to people is so that there is no violence in the world. I believe that chairs are the key to world peace, because if everyone just sits in a chair, what is there to be angry about? Now, there is the argument of what if you're playing a game with your family, or what if you're at a chair fight? Well, we don't condone actions like that. We don't condone games. We don't condone fights. No, chairs are meant to be sat in and enjoyed, but not to be abused. Now, I'm going to go off the set real quick. We're going to take a quick break, and I will be right back as soon as we're ready. Thank you. Hello, and welcome back to Chair Time. Again, I'm Noah Reno, and I'm demonstrating to all you viewers at home how to properly sit in chairs, why we have chairs, etc., etc. Now, there was a stool I had at the beginning of the show that I have brought back on to demonstrate why we use chairs and not stools. So the reason why people like me use chairs and not stools is because stools are one of the most dangerous things to sit in. They are high off the ground, they provide no back support, and are downright not comfortable and most likely very bad for your body to sit in. So I'm going to show you the proper way to sit in a chair, or a stool rather, that provides the least danger to your person. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your foot on the footrest. If your stool does not have a footrest, you're not sitting in that stool. I'm sorry. Then you're going to guide your sitting mechanism with your hand once again, and you're going to sit in the direct center of the stool. Now you can use your hands to keep you safe, but as soon as you get on, you want to put your other foot onto the foot rail. And as soon as you have that, you want to be as motionless as possible with your back as straight as possible, and just pray that the amount of time you have to sit in this stool is not very long. All right, now that we have the stool section of this show out of the way, I'm going to go back through and show you guys the functions of each of these chairs outside of just sitting. I know that we try not to do extremist chairism here, but there is fun that can be had with chairs. So we can come over here to the swivel chair. Now, there's plenty of things you can do with the swivel chair. It's easily the most diverse of the chair family. Once you sit in this chair, the swivel chair here, again using my hand to guide myself onto it so I don't fall off or wiggle around. Once you're stationary and locked into the chair, you can have all sorts of fun with it. So you can glide around, using your feet to push yourself backwards, or you can just do what the bored office worker does and just spin around all day with your pencil tapping against your desk. And that one is fun, but again, we need to take safety into priority here. Don't spin around too much, or you could cause yourself to be sick or dizzy and pass out and fall all over these nice chairs, and we don't want that, neither do the chairs. So that's about it that you can do with the swivel chair. You can always do, we have chair sports, so you have chair basketball that is used with either swivel chairs or wheelchairs, but swivel chairs take point there. And then we have chair football, which is, it's very dangerous. We say if you're not a professional, you don't do that one. Then we have chair parkour, which is done with chairs, and there's all sorts of things like that. Next, we have the casual, cushy armrest chair. Now, there's not a whole lot that you can do with this chair, but if you have some sort of necklace or a bracelet, they're fun to just wrap things around. I have a necklace on me right now. It's always fun to just wrap something around it, and you have kind of makeshift handcuffs if you do. It's very fun for the kids. You can lock your kids down to the armrest chairs pretty easily. That's what I do with my kids anyways. That's about it with the armrest chair. You can make a tune with the arms, but that's about the extent of the armrest chair. It's unfortunate that the armrest chair really lacks potential in this area, but it does its best, and that's really all that matters to us here at Chair Hour. So now, my least favorite chair of our time here today, the chair stool hybrid, which, despite being uncomfortable and very, very dangerous, there actually is quite a bit that you can do with this chair for entertainment. None of which involves sitting in the chair. So to turn this chair upside down, you just go like that. And this chair, again, very dangerous, has all sorts of loose parts, and it's just very bad. But if you can hear that in my mic here, it's very, very noisy. So if you're trying to go to a rally or some sort of protest, this is a good chair to bring to make sure everyone hears you loud with your chair needs. You can raise it high and make it loud, and that's what we're all about here at Chair Enterprises. As well, it's just, I'm sure you could do some other things. It's very easy to take apart. You could use the back part as a frisbee or a toaster in the hot summer day, or you can use the wood to start a fire. It's very amazing for how terrible this chair is, and I hate to say it, but this chair has done a lot of good in its day, but not for me. So, next we have the school chair. Now again, like the office chair, this chair, it doesn't do a whole lot. It was made for a purpose, and that purpose was for upset students that are stuck in school all day to sit in this chair and be miserable. And despite it not being the most uncomfortable chair, it's definitely the least good at doing things outside of being a chair. Because it's definitely a chair. I mean, it does its job. I can sit in it, right? But there's just no functionality. There's no fun in that. So, moving on. Chairs are a wonderful thing. Chairs are something that people take for granted. You have restaurants that have bar stools and booths, and those are just things that we take for granted, and we need to not do that. You know, we need to fill chairs everywhere. Every building should at least have like 12 chairs minimum, every building, no matter what the building is. If you see those anti-chair rallies or stool stores, you need to get out of those places. And I don't condone violence, but definitely burn those places down. And I think that one day that we'll build robot chairs that will most likely become become their own and probably take over. They'll probably end up sitting on us one day. But that's all that matters. That's all that matters. But on that note, we will be taking another break here, and I will return to all of you very, very shortly. Hi, my name is Noah Reno, and we're back with Chair Talk Show Chair Time. Anyways, I have a new chair for us to gaze upon. We have the green office swivel chair. Now, the thing about green office swivel chairs is that they are a once-in-a-lifetime thing to come upon. Someone just brought this into the studio, and I had no idea it was coming, and I was just thrilled to see it when it came in. I've never seen a green chair in person before. This is my first time, but they're definitely a rarity among the chair community. Now, I hear that it's especially rare to get a green swivel chair, and you know, it's definitely way more comfortable than the blue office swivel chair, which is the ordinary color. As you can see, all these chairs here are blue, except for this one that I'm sitting in now. And I do have to say, this is probably the best chair I've ever sat in. You know, you have the green color, which brings out the goodness in everyone's soul, and I think there's just more cush that was put into it than the other one. I am going to run now a swivel test. That was amazing. That was the best swivel I've ever had in a swivel chair, ever. See, now that we have two swivel chairs, there's a world of opportunity. There's so many worlds of opportunity, in fact, that it just blows my mind, and it should blow your mind too. So, I've had many people ask, what happens if you put two swivel chairs together? And in most cases, I'd say, sir or ma'am, you're crazy. But in this situation, with our green swivel chair, I say, heck, let's have a ball. So I'm gonna sit in this green swivel chair. Look what I can do here. 1 foot. Let me move for the camera here. 1 foot. 2 feet. Now you have to be very careful when you do something like this. This is a very dangerous practice, but I have years and years of chair experience. So, there's many ways you can sit in a chair with your feet propped on another chair. One of them is the way I am now, just both legs extended in this is very comfortable. You could probably sleep like this. Or you could spin the chair around and prop your feet up for elevation. I don't like doing this. It's not the most comfortable, but it is good for your core. And then you always have you could put two chairs together like this, and you just lay down, and it's really amazing what chairs can do nowadays. When I was born, in my day, the only swivel chair that existed was owned by the President of the United States. Now, I grew up with the freaking footstool chair hybrid, and I hated it. My mom would never get us even the schoolroom chairs. I would say to my mom, look Mom, I'm sick and tired of these freaking chairs, stools, and I want a real chair, Mom. And she would say, oh, we don't have the money, we don't have the funds. Well, look at me now, Mom. I got a swivel chair that's green. How many green swivel chairs do you have, Mom? None. You don't have any. You're stuck with the freaking wood butt stool chairs. Ha! do that. Anyways, chairs are really an amazing thing when you think about it. Chairs bring us together. And I don't know if you've ever seen a chair, but if you've seen as many as I have, you really take it into appreciation what chairs are all about. And honestly, if you ever just are sitting in a chair and you think about it, you know, it's really an amazing thing. You think, huh, you know, this chair I'm sitting in, someone had to build this, someone had to make this, and then I had to sit in it to think that. So really, I'm connected to the person that made it, and that connects you to so many people, and it just spans across so many ethnicities and lifestyles. It's really a spectacle when you think about it. Chairs here. I do wanna apologize for my outburst there. It was very uncalled for, and Mom, I apologize about my stool chair hybrid comment. It was wrong of me to do so, and I'm sorry. Now, speaking of that, chairs are also remedies for therapy. You know, you've never been to therapy without sitting in a chair. I hate to say it, but it's true. Now, swivel chairs, again, are also good for this purpose. For calming the soul and the body, you just spin around very calmly, and I feel better already. You know, I think it's the chair, but it also might be something else. I don't know. It's just a very comforting thing to be in a chair like this. It's almost hypnotic, you know? So, anyways, running through the chairs that we had here today, of course, we had the amazing green swivel chair, the less amazing blue swivel chair, the chair that has arms and is cushy, the school chair, and the freaking stool chair hybrid. And that's all the chairs that we have here today. And I hope that you learned something and that you took away the message that I'm trying to convey here at Chair Incorporated RF Films. And, you know, I enjoyed conveying the chair message to you all. So I hope you have a wonderful day. My name is Noah Reno. Have a good night.